Thank you, guys. You have a good night. Thank you.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo out in New York. Thank you, guys. See you later. Glad you're taking pictures. Who were they taking pictures of? He was out at a swanky, I guess it was a swanky Italian restaurant, Il Postino. That was on Monday night on New York's Upper East Side. But he was hanging out with Kellyanne Conway. Yes, this Kellyanne Conway that was walking out of that restaurant as well, with Cuomo right behind her. Like, we had a great dinner, all smiles, festive in the holiday season. Yes, this is Andrew Cuomo. Let's take this. We can roll through these pictures of everything that's happened, because the paparazzi apparently only got 10 seconds of him getting to his car on video, and the rest were photos. Also, more of the happy couple of friends walking out of the restaurant as well, waving goodbye from their expensive cars as they get in the back, because they've been drinking wine and hanging out. So of course, people got to thinking, what the hell is going on? One other thing people also noticed, I guess a passerby heard Conway wishing Cuomo a Buon Natale, which of course, all of us Italian speakers will know that means Merry Christmas. I'm educating you guys today. They left around 10:30 p.m., which raised even more speculation. What are they doing out so late? Well, Andrew Cuomo didn't comment when asked by reporters and photographers about the reason for the dinner as he left the restaurant around 10 o'clock, as was pointed out. But Kellyanne Conway was ready to talk, though. Donald Trump's former political advisor, as we know, insisted on Tuesday that there was no amore in the air, as she had a private late night meal with the disgraced former New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, at that famous Upper East Side restaurant. And while the unexpected meeting of political opposites had tongues wagging on Tuesday, Conway insisted to the Post that the meal was, quote, not romantic. She said Italians prefer eating to Zoom. We could have invited his brother, Christopher, but it's unclear that he eats carbs. She finished by saying nothing romantic. And I've known Cuomo, the Cuomo family for decades, which did remind me, remember this? Not that it's a video, but remember when she was fighting all the time with Chris Cuomo on CNN before he was gone from there? All the time throughout the beginning of Trump's presidency, when she was the advisor and speaking for him on every cable network that she could find. Those fights were happening, but there was this weird like happiness to the fights. So they've known the Cuomo family for decades, is what she said. There's more though. Conway said the dinner's menu for discussion included how they both had podcasts with the same company, Quake Media, and talk of various political issues on which they could find common ground. Stick that in your mind as we continue through this. My policy portfolio included nonpartisan issues like veterans and the drug crisis. Now worse than ever, is what she told the Post. Looking to re-engage on that, and it requires working across the aisle. Sharing a meal with the former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie next week on the same. So she's going all over the place. Chris Christie's is up next for another dinner to talk about things maybe across the aisle. I have thoughts on that, but one more piece here. One more witness to the tete-a-tete, I think, I don't know how to say that term, backed up Conway's no romance claim, as they said Tuesday that the duo was not affectionate toward each other as they spent over 2 hours drinking wine and talking. Lastly, they've known each other for 20 years, is what another source then claimed. So the first thing I thought wasn't, oh my God, what are they doing? Because if they're doing something, they're not gonna be walking out of the restaurant telling everybody. So calm down, but I know that's the juicy assumptions that you can make. But the thing about working across the aisle, Adrian, let me get your thoughts first, because I'm a pessimist, but I guess I'll let you start here just in case I take some of your pessimism, if that's there. I don't wanna assume.
No, okay, so foremost, I will say that I think it's really just disheartening that our society continues to automatically assume that just because a woman and a man are out to dinner or they're out somewhere, that there is something sexual or romantic going on. Because the thing is, that ends up hurting women when it comes to professional endeavors. And people can be professional with each other, and they can have professional or collegial relationships, and it doesn't have to be romantic or sexual. So I'll definitely put that out in the forefront. The fact that she had to defend that is really just speaks to how much our society still assumes that women have very little to offer professionally and assume that it must be something sexual. As far as I'm concerned, them having dinner, I'm not shocked. It's two Republicans spending time together, talking about their strategies and all that they're gonna do to make this world a terrible place. That's exactly what I would assume. That's just it. I don't see how anybody could speculate otherwise. Let's be real about Cuomo's history and also who he is. Definitely he's a and we know where there is sexism, there is racism and all other isms. So as far as I'm concerned, this man has never had me thinking that just because he claims to bleed blue, he ain't out here bleeding red and engaging in all sorts of nonsense that is aligned with the Republican agenda.
We see it a lot when it comes to many of these political figures, but the whole thing about working across the aisle and we're coming up with solutions, we're talking about this and that. Next, I'm talking to Chris Christie next week. None of these folks, Chris Christie, Andrew Cuomo, or Kellyanne Conway are in positions of power currently. I mean, they used to be. That's the thing. We're talking maybe 2020. All three of these folks were very relevant to them having these types of conversations that would maybe lead to some kind of, I don't know, legislation, which again, none of them are legislators, even when they were there. I mean, Cuomo, governor of New York, but we're talking about legislators that are changing laws, I guess, for the country. That's in Congress. But still, they're talking about how they can have these conversations about how to change policy. What policies are they changing? I don't know. And I think it was a bit of an announcement coming out. Hey, look, we're hanging out. There's something else going on as far as like when folks like this in these positions of influence, if they want you to see that they're hanging out, they'll let you see it. If they don't, they won't. You think they couldn't have had dinner somewhere else where no one's seeing it? I don't know. Again, maybe that's my pessimism and my speculation going off the charts for political figures, I guess.
I believe you, and that's the thing. I thought the same thing. There's a reason they went out in this very public place. They wanted people to see them together, and they wanted, maybe to be honest, I think that Cuomo, because he's, what did they say, like persona non grata, whatever that is, that he is almost latching on to any power that she may still have, because she does have power, and so do all the other players. They're operating behind closed doors. It may not be public facing power, but still they can do a lot in what they do because people owe them and they have various secrets in their pocket. So we can't think that just because they're out of the limelight that we can see that doesn't mean they're any less powerful.
Good point, because you've changed my mind on that. Because I was totally thinking these guys have no influence, but of course, behind the scenes, I could see that. Absolutely. So we'll see where this goes as you see things change. And again, they've already given the blueprint. Next up is Chris Christie. We'll see where that discussion goes next. Well, we won't see what it is. We'll just see it happening, and then maybe it'll materialize as they usher in their next era of elections. We'll see what happens in 2024.